Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Schmozone podcast. This is episode number 51. I'm Dave Schmulenson, aka the Schmo. My co-host is
Helen Yee Sports.
and we're back here on Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. Another episode, another podcast on the road.
Yeah, another podcast at very different times than back in the U.S.
And I'll start off with just saying I apologize that this is a couple of days late. There's a lot of craziness going on. We're running around, getting interviews. Hope we're entertaining everybody who's listening and watching. But today's guest, he was well worth waiting on an extra few days. And we were literally chasing him down for an extra couple of days.
I know. We literally, almost camped out for him. I mean, I felt like it, right? I was thinking about bringing my pillow, just sleep. Oh, whenever Firas is awake, okay, let's go do the podcast.
Yes, and it's the one and only Tristar's Firas Zahabi. He works with some of the best MMA fighters in the game, from Rory MacDonald to Ryan Hall to a legend, George St-Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and today's episode is also brought to you by Fusion CBD products. Love using CBD. I implement that into everything that I do. Tinctures, the rubs, just helps with everything overall. Helps you sleep too. Check it out. Use the promo code Schmo when you visit fusioncbdproducts.com. And also, today's podcast is brought to you by Tim Tam Tech. Amazing massage recovery tools. And I think that's a big part of this podcast with Firas Zahabi, who is a co-founder of Tim Tam Tech. And it's kind of how we met in the first place.
I know. And you guys do talk about that crazy story where he met you before basically most people knew of you as a Schmo in April. So he met you quite a few months before that.
Yeah, we got together in December in 2018 in New York with GSP at the Enzo Gracie gym there. And we worked out. Got my butt kicked, introduced me to a lot of these Tim Tam products. Been using them ever since. And, they have amazing stuff out there now. And we talk about it. We use it. Obviously brought it here to Abu Dhabi. Check all of that stuff out using the promo code Schmo. I'll have that also in the description. 20% off all your recovery needs.
And hopefully there will be a part 2 of this. Hopefully in the near future, because obviously with the weight cut tomorrow, he has his fighters who obviously need to cut weight to weigh in, and then just, being the great coach he is, he was on a bit of a tight schedule. We didn't want to take too much of his time, so I promise you there will be follow-up questions to come.
100%. We were cognizant of his time, as Helen just mentioned. He has fighters here, Nasrat, Sarah, helping them with their weight cuts. So we didn't want to take too much of his time, but we had to ask him some important questions. If you weren't aware, when you were filming Helen the other day, everyone who was watching, I think people saw the behind the scenes.
Khabib literally crashed your interview. And for those who thought, oh, was this planned or something? No, it literally, none of us had a clue. And I think if you do pay attention to Matt Serra's reaction, that's how you know. It was just so, wow, we were all shocked. Because you were just talking about Khabib in that interview, and literally he shows up.
Yeah, so what's so crazy, too, is Conor McGregor was arriving, too, at the W Hotel when I sat down with Matt, Sarah, and Dean Thomas
and
to
I
do
was
this interview.
filming the Conor part.
Helen was filming this interview. You were filming the Conor part.
Yeah, and then I ran to go film yours.
The interview. I sat down with Matt and Dean, and we're talking. We just start off having a conversation. I had asked them about looking for a fight with the boss man Dana White and Khabib, what it was like watching fights with Khabib. And then they get into this whole Khabib story, and then literally he's walking by, because I think he was filming in the back room with DC. He's handing him an award for best submission of the year, and he had security escorting him. He saw Matt, he saw Dean, he came in, interrupted the interview. I had my golden moment, my golden schmoment, and first thing I did, I asked him about GSP, because as a huge fight fan, that's what we want to know.
Yeah, so you definitely had a great schmoment, and then what do we have to do? Then obviously talk to Firas about it.
Have to follow up with the guy who coaches GSP, his closest confidant, especially in the fight game. And I think we got some information out of that.
Oh, yeah. So should we just kind of roll it now?
I think it's time. Hope you enjoy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
You invite us up to your room. I mean, thank you for having us.
True. Thank you. I'm glad to have you.
I was just telling Helen the story about how we met. I believe it was December of 2018. It was in New York. It was with, somewhat famous guy, one of your famous guys that you train. I think it starts with a G and rhymes with George.
Yes, that's correct.
GSP, George St-Pierre. We were there. We were in the Enzo Gracie gym. We're also promoting Tim Tam, the power massager, some of the best recovery products in the entire world. You introduced me to it.
Yeah, the world's most powerful massager and the only one with heat. The Tim Tam Pro, #1 massager in the world.
And it's quiet too, especially the new power.
Ultra quiet, yes.
You always have me Tim Tam you, right?
I always have her Tim Tam me. We even brought it here, and I know I think Nazaret's using it right now.
Nazaret's using the pocket. I got the Pro. I was showing it to some professionals, and yeah, man, it's a great machine. If you're gonna train hard, you gotta recover well. So you gotta Tim Tam those muscles. You gotta get it going.
And how did you come up with this concept? Because you were thinking about it. We'll get to the name in a second, Tim Tam, the creativity behind the name. But how did you come up with the concept of the product?
Well, I suffered from bad sciatica. So I had a very horrible sciatica for about 2 years. I could barely sleep at night. I couldn't train. Every time I trained, my sciatica would flare up. So I started being I was like, I'm a full-time trainer. What do I do? So somebody showed me something called the deep muscle stimulator. It's a high-powered massager that you have to plug in, and after about 30 minutes of use, it overheats. So it cost me $3,000, and I loved the thing. It took away my sciatica. It worked. I could train. I could wrestle, but it would overheat all the time, and I had to plug it in, and the thing weighed a ton, and it was just so inconvenient. And people would borrow it from me all the time. Hey, I got a shoulder pain. Can I borrow your deep DMS, deep muscle stimulator? I'm like, yeah, sure, it's $3,000, So then I wouldn't get it back for a week or two because somebody would have lent it to someone else. I was like, I need a better solution. So I would buy these pop massagers from Walmart. None of them were strong enough. So I met Tom from Disrupt. I was like, let's make a prototype. He basically took a drill and modified it. It was powerful enough, but too noisy. So we redid it, we reinvented it. It's got the power of a power tool. It's got the efficiency of a power tool. It won't overheat. It's got the battery life of a power tool. It's just so efficient. However, it's quiet, super quiet. Took out all the gears, a brushless motor. They did all the fancy schmancy stuff that make it super powerful. Then they added heat. They made the travel so the piston goes further now, so you have a more of a percussion massage. They made it so that it helps you therapeutically. And of course, noise is a killer, right? Noise gives you a headache. You're not really relaxing if there's non-stop noise. So we just made the world's best massager. Now I have no sciatica. I'm pain-free. 40 years old, training more than ever, and I feel great.
And it's super easy to travel with, and that's how we ended up here in Abu Dhabi with it. But going back to those days in 2018 in New York, that's when barely anybody recognized who I was. I was just starting off doing this stuff, the Schmo character in the MMA community. We linked up. Tom took a chance on me. You guys took a chance on me, and we were doing some promotion with the product, a little pop-up there, and the rest is history.
So he really is one of the OGs.
The OGs, yes.
That's right.
So what was your initial impression, though, when you first met David and then he went into his character?
I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was very smart. He was sticking out, and it was a fun, you're talking about a product. Sometimes people don't want to hear about a product because they're being, commercials all the time. But Schmo made it fun, and there was fun content. And one day you might need a massager. You can be happy. Hey, I'm happy they threw that in there. That I got sciatica, I got a knee pain, I got a shoulder pain. Maybe you didn't have it the day you watched that commercial, but you remember when that pain comes in, you're like, hey, how do I deal with this? There's a fine product you can trust, a good label, something that's tried and true by the best in the world. If the best in the world use it, it works. and we're helping a lot of people at the same time.
And there's these different power massage tools everywhere else, but what makes this separates it different, it's quiet, it's powerful, and I just love it. I use it, and also to that day too, Getty Images kind of held a photo of us holding it, and
really?
that people still use it that day. And man, I've always used it since that day, and I love the different stuff too. I mean, I love the Polish Pro. I think that's also a pretty cool product as well.
Yes.
The Pulse.
The Pulse is fantastic, especially when you're traveling. You don't want to hold anything on you. The Pulse, you just stick it on your body, and it sends you a pulse, and it really tenderizes that muscle. So if you have a flight or a long drive, you stick it on, you forget about it, you set it with your Bluetooth. By the time you get to your destination, your muscles loosened up.
Yeah, it connects with your phone to the Bluetooth. Awesome stuff. I mean, but you're here for a reason, and a big reason too. There's huge fights going on, UFC 257. You're cornering two people. You're cornering Sarah. You're helping out. Train with her, and also Nasrat.
Yes, Sarah McMahon's coach got sick, so unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to make the trip, so I'm stepping in to help her. I used to train her back in the day. She was a phenomenal athlete, Olympic medalist as well, silver medalist. And of course, Nasrat, he's fighting Armin Tsukurian, which is a top 15 fighter, a world-class fighter. These are two pit bulls stepping in there. This is a breakthrough fight for Nasrat. If he wins this fight with style, the whole world will know his name. It's a phenomenal matchup.
Well, people already confuse him for Kelvin Gastelum. They look alike. I mean, now I know they take photos too. I think they have the same representation.
That's right.
You stand them next to each other. Just one's a little bit chunkier than the other.
We can make weight for Gastelum's future fight. So Gastelum's just going to pay the price. Nasrat will step on the scale for you, and then you can go do the fight.
And obviously, we have this worldwide pandemic going on. 2021 now, things are getting better. One of your students, Rory MacDonald, one of the best in the entire world, he's making that long-awaited debut in PFL here in 2021. What's been 2020 like for him? Kind of waiting on the sidelines. I know there's been stuff at Tristar with the regulations. What's been training like with Rory during this pandemic?
Well, Rory's always itching to fight, so standing by, waiting for things to work out. It's long for him. He's motivated when he has fights booked, and of course, it's what he loves to do. It's been tough in Canada because there's been so many restrictions. We're doing our best to work around them for the pros, but we do have to travel now to accommodate them for sparring partners or whatnot. Like for instance, Nasrat, we finished camp for him in Morocco. We had everything we need. We have the facilities, the freedom to actually train. Whereas Canada is more touch and go. They keep extending the shutdowns and all that. So we're look for Tristar fighters to be moving around a bit for a while.
So when's the last time that you were home then?
I go home on a regular basis, of course, but I have to travel for camps here. I'll go a week at a time or so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then we brought him up before, GSP. He's one of the best. He's the GOAT.
I believe you had an exchange, a wrestling exchange with him.
Yeah, I think.
How did that end up with you?
How did it ended up with me on my back? It ended up with me tapping, not once, not twice, maybe
Actually,
three.
I think I remember you going to sleep. You refused to tap, didn't you?
Maybe we went to sleep too. Yes.
Willing to go out on his shield.
Yeah, of course. But I have to say, I'm sure because I know you're like a wizard. You float around places. You don't see everything. A couple of days ago, I'm doing an interview with Matt, Sarah, and Dean Thomas. We're just sitting downstairs, and I think you know what this guy's name is. It's Khabib, famous fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov. He walks by, and the whole big news right now is Dana's meeting with him. Is he retired? Is he not retired? Blah, blah, blah. I actually had the wherewithal. I stopped him because he came in the interview. He interrupted, and I said, hey, Khabib, one more fight. GSP. What'd you do it? Oh, I was just DMing him. He says, I was direct messaging and everything like that. Well, we have you sitting right here. I have to ask you. I know it's the fight everyone wants to see. I know GSP, he's fit, he's active. He is up there in age, pushing 40 years old. For us, do you still want to see that super fight? Can we still see that super fight? Does George want that super fight?
I think so. I just think they need to make George and Khabib an offer they can't refuse. That's the only thing that's going to pull them out of retirement. There's got to be an offer they cannot refuse. They're both retired, and they have nothing to prove. Life is good. Their bellies are full. They're traveling the world. They're having so much enjoyment from their careers. The only way you're going to get them together is he has to make an offer that's irrefusable, and that's the way we're going to get it done, I think.
And you think they both want it?
I think deep down inside, yes. They're going to get bored with their day-to-day lives a bit, and they're going to want to have that one last adventure. And it's too tempting to say no to, but it has to be the right time. You know, like it's just got to be the right place, the right time, the right amount. You can't say no. It's the biggest show. It's the biggest fight. It's gonna tempt him.
Well, I know because the Ramadan's coming up and everything. There's retirement. The earliest, in my opinion, we'd ever see Khabib come back in would be the fall. Maybe in this location in the world, back here in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, you know, whatever it is. Doesn't know what it's going to look like. But, look, do you think that Khabib would only fight one more time as his father's dream, 30-0, and obviously George was his father's dream opponent. So if Khabib comes back, it is one more fight. It is GSP, the earliest it's fall. These are just the deductive reasoning things I'm thinking of. Do you agree with all this so far?
I think it's very possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know about George direct messaging him, or do you know about this communication stuff?
No, I have no comment on that.
No comment on it. Okay, I'm dragging you as far as I can. I think I've led you as far as I can so far, unless there's anything else you want to add to that.
I just think it has to be an offer they can't refuse. That's it. You know, I think at the end of the day, they'll both do it. The time and day, that's too complicated to answer.
And how much is George training? Because he's still posting videos. I know it's his lifestyle and everything like that, but is he still training like he is an active fighter?
I think he's the fittest he's ever been.
Right now?
Right now. He's aging well.
So you think right now would be that perfect time for him to fight?
He's not in fight training. Sorry, I don't want to mislead. I think his general fitness is up better than ever. We'd have to put him in sparring and wrestling, which right now is very difficult because of quarantine. We'd probably have to travel somewhere to do it. But right now, in general fitness, like running and lifting and explosiveness, he's better than ever.
And how about that hair? I like his hair. What's he doing with his hair now?
I think that's things that he's doing on camera that are going to come out later, which I can't say too much about. But he's got projects on the line, and it requires him to have hair.
Well, Captain America. I mean, this guy's like everything.
Things along those lines. Yeah.
He's a star. Yeah. I mean, everyone wants a little piece of him too.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
I know because of the lockdowns and stuff like that, you're not getting the American fighters coming up to Canada, but are you still doing some work with a couple guys that come to mind, Kevin Lee and Ryan Hall?
Yeah, Ryan Hall, we're trying to get him in the country right now, actually, as we speak. I might have to travel to him. Kevin Lee's had some surgeries, so he's still recovering and getting back to the basics of his recovery. He had 2 ACL tears. So I look forward to working with him as soon as he's able to again.
And he's got a nice new neck tattoo as well.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen a little bit.
What's your thoughts on the neck tattoo?
No comment.
I'll
give you my thoughts in person when I see it.
Okay. And who else? Johnny Walker.
Yes, I just spoke to him yesterday, actually, yes.
Did he go back to he's going everywhere. Is he going to SBG?
No, he's in SBG now. Me and him are actually very close. We talk quite a bit. But he can't come to Canada, and I look forward to working with him and SBG. You know, I really respect John Kavanagh. I have a great admiration for him, all the coaches there, and if I have to travel to them or he travels to me, it'll be hopefully a mutual effort to help Johnny, because I helped Johnny in the past. He went to SBG after, and I think SBG and me were very compatible. Me and John, I'm sure we'll have a good time working together, and me, John Kavanagh, and Johnny, I'm sure we'll get along well. And I just want the best for Johnny. You know, I want to help him. If I can help him, I will. If he doesn't need my help, I'm all happy to see him win. You know, I love the guy.
Yeah, I think he just got announced a huge fight with Jimmy Crute.
That's right.
So you don't know at this point if you're going to work with him for that?
I hope to work with him. If I have to travel or not, it'll be great. But I doubt Canada will be open for his training camp.
And Ryan Hall just had
signed.
Dan
Ige.
It's going to be a good fight.
It's going to be a very good fight, and we're hoping to get Ryan in the country, but it's going to be difficult, I think.
I feel like a lot of people have passed on fights with Ryan Hall. He's very vocal about that. He can't get fights, and they just don't want to grapple with him?
He's a tricky guy to fight.
Yeah.
You know, you can end up in a cast pretty quick, so he's a difficult guy to fight. It's tricky. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to plug right here? Well, we have you right here.
We have the pocket. You've seen the pocket, the Tim Tam pocket?
No, talk to me about the pocket.
Okay, well, it's the world's most portable, high-powered massager. It has multiple tips, and you can put the universal heat adapter on it. So now you can turn any massage gun into a heat adapter, into a heated gun, including the pocket. So we have a universal heat adapter that goes on the pocket massager. It's the smallest, most high-powered. It's the most high-powered travel massager in the world. It has multiple tips, and it's the best bang for your buck. When you're traveling, you throw that thing in your bag. I have it with me now, but the fighters took it with me. I'd love to show you on camera.
Yeah, we'll plug it in. For those watching.
Nazrat's got it now. He's using it. So unfortunately, I don't have it on me now. That's the thing with the Tim Tam. People always want to borrow it. They always want to take it. Tell them buy your own. Unless the professional fighters, tell them buy your own.
TimTam.tech. We got the promo code Schmo to get your 20% off. You see that plug? I just did that right there. It's going to be on screen. We're going to show that B-roll too. Also, I teased it. How you came up with the name. Because Tim Tam, there was a chocolate. It's a candy, I think, outside. But Tim and Tam, there was like a dinner meeting conversation.
It wasn't me, actually. It wasn't me. It was my manager at the time, Mike Fonseca, pulled it out. They were at dinner. They were showing Tom from Disrupt the device, what we wanted to, they were talking about the device. As he pulled out the new prototype, he pulled it out. Some woman thought it was a gun. So she got scared, right? Nobody had seen a high-powered massager at that time, so she got scared. She's like, oh my goodness, what is that? And he's like, no, it's just a prototype device. It's a massage company that's doing this. So they showed it to her to ease her mind. They showed her what it is. She's not in any danger. And her name was Tam, and the guy she was with, his name was Tim. So like, oh, Tim and Tam. Let's call this thing Tim Tam.
Too convenient.
I know.
Too special. So they said, look, we're calling Tim Tam after the two couple that first saw it. The first two people that ever seen it.
All right, I gotta get that pocket too. I gotta mention it.
Yeah. All he ever does, Helen, can you use the Tim Tam on my back and. Yeah, all the
external
time.
use only, Helen, please.
Oh,
yes. Yes. No, I'm still waiting for the.
No matter how much he begs. Okay, we're not insured for that.
No comment.
No comment. Any last words?
No, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
I feel like we were camping out waiting for you.
Yeah, you're a hard guy to hunt down. We waited 3 days. By the way, we apologize again for having the podcast late. We're waiting for this guy. We knew it was coming down.
I'm sorry.
You got duty calls, you got fighters, you got weigh-ins.
Especially here that we're doing things at odd hours all the time.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. And people are like, tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Like we're training at 3 a.m. So I don't know what you mean by tomorrow.
True.
When's the weigh-in? It's like so confusing to understand what the weigh-in is because we're sleeping during the day, we're waking up at night, we're cutting weight in between because we have to change the hours for the weight cut. It's like so confusing.
Yeah.
And different fighters are on different schedules because they're fighting on different parts of the card. We're fighting on Sunday, but the fight's aired on Saturday, so they're like, oh, it's just so. It's confusing.
Fair enough.
Plus all the COVID testing.
Yes. Well, we
get
enough tests. We'll have another round. Yeah. We're all free.
Yeah.
Well, Firas, we appreciate you coming in the Schmozone inside your room. Episode 51. We are out.